Hi everybody, and we're just waiting to start up here, so welcome to the close the auction. So I'm going to try and do as many of these as I can with the close the auctions, so just wait for this to start up. So I hope everyone's having a good day, and we will start this shortly. I'm just going to post the link on Discord, so let's get rolling. And we'll just so we're going to get started in a minute, and there's actually no news on the link today, so we'll wait for that to start up. I've got someone in. If you're in the chat, just pop in and say hello, and we're going to get started with this straight away. So we're sitting on the auction. Day 76 is closing, and we've got day 77, which is going to be a huge whale type auction, 342 million. So it's starting up very shortly. 342 million AXN up for grabs starting in 24 minutes. So hopefully we're going to try and do these auctions at least on the bigger days, and where we get the 250 million put in the pot and we get some massive rollovers, which is what we've got in the one coming up for auction day 77. So that should be a bit of fun, and we're going to work on this close. Obviously we've got the Axion price is at 285 at the moment, so just dropped back a little bit from that 0003 mark. We've got massive liquidity there, 4 million total liquidity, 1 million and daily volume, looking good. These figures are all better, all improved. ETH, 1520 ETH, now 7 billion AXN in the pool, and the transactions are up at 90,300. So all improved measures bodes very well for all the initiatives coming out in the next couple of weeks and months. So looking good for Axion. Just gaining momentum, just slowly and surely just moving up. So and price will follow indeed. So looking good. Just going to jump to the daily chart. Welcome everybody to the chat. Let's have a look at the daily there. Looking good on the new token. Stephen, welcome Stephen. Good there. Hey there Axion. Hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, it's going good, Stephen. Hope you welcome to the chat. And we're going to just be running for probably for about an hour, and we're going to watch the close of today's auction. We've got this huge auction coming up. It's going to be pretty massive, and it's going to be fun 24 hours to watch that one go. We haven't typically had one that big for a while. Once we get closer to the roll-off after the auction, we'll look at the Axion stats as it closes. There's no real news on at the moment, so we haven't got. Oh, there's an announcement just seems to have come out just as we're doing the live stream. That's really good. Oh, so there we are. We've got the Axion New Year's Staking Blitz update. So 167 eligible participants. Day 26 summary. Boy, it's getting low now. So total bonuses just sent out. 133 million Axion has been sent out in bonuses for people staking. Remaining bonuses, 555 million left. So that's really come down. In the scheme of things, it's not a lot left. Obviously, that's going to take a few days to work through, but maybe 3, 4, 5 days. It's pretty impressive. Total staking amount incentivized, and this is the key metric here, 14.7 billion has been staked longer than 365 days. Obviously that's still on, so you can still participate in that if you want to. So if you want to get into that staking blitz, there's the link in the chat. So I'll just make that clear. So that's the participant there. If you want to participate, there's a form. Axion is like fine wine. Over time, it makes the wait worthwhile. It does indeed, and I think we're going to see a sudden surge in growth in the community size, and ultimately that's probably one of the most important metrics. Obviously, if we look at the stats at the moment, I was jumping in here a bit early, but we've got just gone over the 14,000 mark now, so 14,068. That's quite a jump from yesterday. Probably about 80 wallets or so, maybe a bit more. And so that number there is the one that I've been really monitoring, and expect that to start climbing, increasing numbers each day. So None of the marketing's really started other than organic stuff. Axion Today, obviously this channel and a few other channels doing less regular updates. So it's going to be a really exciting future for Axion. And once the community starts to double, the price pressure is going to be self-evident. And with all the initiatives coming up with the venture auctions, you're going to see massive growth. We already have a very good following on a number of channels. So Publish OX, which I publish on every day, we've got a good following in there. And on YouTube, we've got a good following on YouTube, and obviously with a few other channels as well. Trying to expand out into the Medium channel, so that's going to be fun. And also going to expand out onto a couple of other sites as well. Just trying to hit the big ones first and just keep building with consistency, spreading the community and growing the community. That's number one thing. And obviously that's what counts in the end. And so we've got two whales there too. I noticed another whale's come out of supply. So it's 8.7 million AXN. Sort of skipping ahead. So that's what's brought that figure down to 77. So that's the first dramatic move actually in whales. So I imagine these are going to restake. These numbers will just jump back up, so I don't think there's much to see there at all. Yeah, so market cap sitting comfortably at this 28.7. Expect that to jump up too. We'll probably jump up and get into that 40, 50 million mark sooner than later. So yeah, the stats are looking pretty good. Yeah, if you're in the chat, welcome, and we'll probably get a lot more people over the next 10-20 minutes and it'll start filling up. So welcome back to the chat. I'm going to try and do these more often. I think we're really starting to get that critical mass turning point for Axion to that next level, moving to that next level. And I think the brand name Axion is going to be one of the most talked about in 2021 without a doubt. So much coming up. We've got Sheldon Evans marketing coming up on YouTube. It's going to be multiple video series. We're going to have the direct marketing from the Axion team, $50,000 per month, backing a lot of the key initiatives from credit cards through the venture capital auctions, through to just basic onboarding fiat to Axion. More about staking certificate deposits, the mutual fund approach, contacting big conventional financial institutions as well as the crypto ones. So I think there's a lot in store, much more than that. So it's going to be exciting times ahead. I'm pretty pumped. So let's have a look at this price again. You can see we've just had this nice consolidation. We've actually re-rated, if you think about it. We've actually re-rated here. It's pretty stable. It'll be interesting to see where that goes up from now. We've got obviously a bit of a double top in some ways. So and a bit of a W, depending on if you're into that technical stuff. So it's going to be interesting. We've definitely got a higher low, sorry. And if we take that sort of our measure there, we've definitely moved up. So what else have we got in here that we can, we've got a nice arrow, so boom. Give that a nice green impact. So definitely moving up in that regard. So we'd like to see another one of these move up to the next level. So whether that's along here somewhere, and we'll step up that way, break out of this level which have sort of been stuck out. But this is becoming increasingly inevitable now, breakout. So it's going to look good. There's just so much fundamental events coming up. It's going to be pretty epic. Now, obviously, if we jump over to nomics, we've got Bitcoin floating around at that 32,600, and it's seems to just be moving along there at the moment, and obviously Ethereum at 1,300. I'm expecting another a push by Ethereum. If Bitcoin can just hold around here, I'm expecting Ethereum to make another push. Obviously did the $1,450 the other day. I'm expecting that to try and make another move, which bodes well. So that stability around those two pairs, very important for Axion as well. Obviously Axion can do its own thing and move in its own direction, depending on the news that's coming out. But for a nice support foundation, it's good to have a strong Ethereum price. And here we are seeing this nice managing to stay up here. So it looks good, and you can see there's got higher lows, so that's good. And it seems a bit of consolidation, so we'd like to see that continue. Certainly volumes have picked up correspondingly, so looking good. Let's jump back there to the main page. Stephen says, if people would stop talking about mooning instead as a community help with marketing and raising awareness, we'd be much better off. Absolutely agree, Stephen. But unfortunately, crypto, through the bear market the last 2 years, you know, we had the moon boys, the pump and dump teams, uh, and all those guys. That culture's still in. And obviously, with the crypto community actually growing, generally speaking, but it's getting a lot of moon boys still in there, still on that pump and dump. A lot of them still don't fully understand, you know, the staking certificate deposits either. So it's a lot of maturity going in from to grow up from their side, but a lot of that's going to stay. But you'll get more mature people, more big, decent investors doing stuff rather than the pump and dump. And the other side is that the crypto projects themselves are maturing, getting obviously Axion's actually leading in some ways with the professional marketing team now, and with a real plan for reaching out, not just in crypto land but beyond crypto land. And that's actually a new bridge. And not many crypto projects have actually done that successfully. The other side of it is, of course, that projects like Axion are actually now competing directly with banks. So just started doing a few videos on this channel about that. We're being certificate deposit, but not conventional, right? So Axion, Hex, Wise, all doing different things in the same staking space, certificate deposit space, but all actually competing directly with the banks. And once the communities get big enough, and respectively in each project, they really start to uh, stabilize the price and therefore underpin the long-term staking value in the certificate deposit product offering. But it's really a certificate of product or a certificate of deposit on steroids. Really, really is quite neat. And as obviously there's a long way to market saturation, so the volatility is still going to be a little bit big up to that point, but each individual community, once it doubles. So as an example, we've got the stats at 14,000 wallets. So once we get that up to, you know, double 28,000, then triple, you should see the price really level off as more of the inflation is actually eaten up with an average amount in each wallet being better, and that sort of stabilizes from that point of view. So, and obviously now we've got better liquidity. It means that we're going to have bigger people being able to come in, being able to enter and exit, and that's a real positive. So that's a secondary thing on top of the number of the size of the community is having a better liquidity pool. Obviously, small liquidity means that you can increase and decrease the price very very quickly, but that's not going to affect this level of liquidity. And obviously, big liquidity means that you need more economic energy to move the price up or down. But it does certainly attract whales and certain things. So there's a lot of things there. I think that obviously the growth path for Axion is definitely on the rise. We've obviously got credit card coming up. I'm very excited about that. What are we on 29th now? So with that, we may get some news on that in the next couple of days. So looking forward to that. But back to your point, Stephen, yeah, definitely. Everybody in the community can promote, and certainly people can invest a percentage of their portfolio in Axion as a staking. It's actually more on a conservative side in crypto, because most of those products, you know, a lot of the stuff's quite experimental. Was there probably 10,000 or more cryptocurrencies out there and growing, because a lot of people can mint their own cryptocurrencies just sitting there dead. But there's very few quality ones. Obviously, Axion's right there in the mix for that, and the offering is pretty impressive. So let's have a quick look. Might as well quickly look at this. What time? We've got 10 minutes or so to go before the close. So yeah, 11 minutes and 55 seconds till this closes here. Auction day 76, 28th of January, and we've got 12.5 million AXN, which is on the small side. Obviously, typically gets oversubscribed. Today's not too bad actually. It's 3.1 million. Presumably, there's not going to be a lot more entering in that. I have got that in the title of this live stream, so hopefully I won't have to change the numbers too much. We have to be pretty dramatic if we got suddenly ETH going in there. We have some dramatically oversubscribed auctions. Let's have a look. On the 26th, which is 2 days ago, we had 1.1 million AXN in there. We got a 5.38 Ethereum in there. I mean, that's just makes you want to cry when you look at that. I mean, it's 206. I'll have to wait some time before the price gets to that point. Maybe March, maybe. So, but that there is pretty different from the others. So, not great decisions there. Not sure who's entering those auctions. Obviously, these big auctions where we get the 250 million in, where we get the rollovers. These are all good results and reflect the market conditions as well. This one here, unfortunately, misses the boat on that, and there's probably been a couple of those. I think I've counted about 6 or 7 of them on my spreadsheet. I haven't got that up today, the Excel spreadsheet that I normally present, but there we are. Now, the auction that's about to start in 10 minutes is a massive 342 million AXN. That's a perfect auction to enter. Obviously, if you use the link below this video, you can get a 10% bonus as well, so that makes it a lot better. Uniswap price 4.6 million. This auction price at the moment for auction 76 is just under 3.1 million. That excludes the 10% bonus, obviously. So that's where that's at. Let's have a quick jump over to mining while we've got a bit of time. We'll jump over to mining and check that out. So what have we got here? The APY is now 186.85. If we jump back to the announcements when they first launched it, or approximately when they first launched it, the APY started off at about 1450%. So it was already rolling, so that may have been slightly higher than that. Now we are at 186.85, so that's terrific because that represents that it's working and that people have actually committed Axion and Ethereum into the Uniswap pool, which you can see here. We'll open that up and have a quick look. We can also see that on obviously Dex tools, but we'll have to check that out. So there we are, 1520 ETH, 7 billion AXN. Looking good. This is the liquidity tab, and this is obviously on Uniswap on the information for the pair, and you can see that nicely rising up there, looking good. And this has definitely put Axion in a better, stronger position. Great to see, and we'll get some bigger players being able to roll in to Axion, especially before the push of all the major product launches that's coming up in the next say 2 to 6 weeks. So I'm pretty excited. Obviously, if you haven't added liquidity, all you have to do is hit this button, and if we go back to the Axion announcements, you can just scroll down. Pretty easy to enter. All you have to do is add ETH and Axion to the pool, which is that one there, which is the one I was just on. So I think it's this one here. All you have to do is add ETH and Axion and corresponding amounts. So if you put 1 ETH in, you would need to put in 4.6 million AXN, and then you can, if you had enough in, if you actually had balances in there, you can actually commit to that. You also get an extra bonus of fees for trading every day in proportion to what you put in. So it's pretty neat. Once you do that, it will issue you some liquidity provider tokens. They will go to your MetaMask wallet. They probably may take a minute or two to show up, or a few minutes. I'm not exactly sure what the time frame is, but in any case, once you've done that, you can then follow the second step. The second step is then go and deposit those tokens on the mining tab. Obviously, this is the mining tab, so you'd have to refresh the page using the refresh button just so that they would show up here. Otherwise, they may not show up if you've just left it static, and then you just click max, put them in there, and then click deposit. So there are 2 fees to entering the mining, really. There's the fee that you'll have to do to actually put the Axion and Ethereum into the liquidity pool, which is this one here, that pool. And then you can actually see what the people have added Ethereum under clicking adds under transactions. You can see all the additions here. So added Ethereum and Axion and respective amounts. So what's this one here? So 4.6 and 21. So that was 39 minutes ago. That's a decent amount. These little amounts here wouldn't do that. That's just too small, but people will do it. Maybe they just find it fun. But you imagine the ETH fees that you're doing, and then you're relying on APY to offset that over time. Still 186, but we just don't know quite when the bottom will be. If people keep entering it, that could go below 100. So just take that into account. But definitely in the short term, mining is a good option. and if you have maybe 1 to 2 ETH or more, you're definitely in the right space to enter this. And obviously staking is good, definitely medium long term, but actually it's a really a short term thing too, because obviously we've got venture auctions coming up. So if you're staked, you're going to reap the rewards of wrapped Bitcoin and altcoins and other things. So in the short term, this is certainly good and certainly helps the liquidity on Uniswap. Stephen's made another comment there. So finally said, the daily volume should start going up steadily. Once we reach the daily trading volume at around 10 million, we will break new ground. Yeah, good point, Stephen. Let me just go to yeah. So we're at 1 million at the moment. So yeah, 10 million will definitely start to really lift that. Let me have a look at the Uniswap amount on there. So volumes. So still, yeah, we've been able to get 2 million. This is obviously just under the new token. 2.5 million we had. So what was that? The 2nd of January. What was the price around there? AXN ETH. Not sure if I actually have that one on there. It's taking a little while to actually boot up. That's why I tend to enjoy DEX tools. Seems to be a lot better to. It's the 2nd of January there. Yes, the 2nd of January we certainly had that big pump, which corresponds to that massive liquidity on that day. Let me just go back to the volume. Yeah, so this volume here, when the big price pump that we had. So that's where we got that price. So that fits well with what you're saying, Stephen. So yeah, it's looking pretty positive. The credit card was going to come out originally mid-late January, so I think it's the actual credit card provider that's probably delayed that. I think the team was raring to go. So there was a major update. Where was that back here? Excuse me. Yeah, lots of updates there. Those are the daily updates. It was a major. Oh, how are we doing for time? Oh, almost there. Yeah, this was a lot of the updates, quite a bit there. Completing marketing. Yeah, we've had that on Axion today. If you saw the marketing program, a Fiat on-ramp is underway, so it's going to be huge for the credit card. So that's the one there. It's kind of still coming up there, and obviously zero fees is going to be super popular. So hopefully they'll be able to get a solution for that. That solution where they're not subsidizing it for long stakers. If they can get a solution for everybody, that would be even better, and that would certainly be groundbreaking in the space, so investment space generally, and obviously for Axion in the staking space would be pretty huge if they can get that solution. So anyway, let's jump back to the auction, and we've got 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. I'll just refresh the page, make sure it's updating well. So, man, it's going to be very exciting when venture capital auctions start as well. We'll have these standard auctions, and then we're going to have the venture capital auctions. It's going to be pretty intense. I think the community is it's going to be pretty exciting. Steven says the credit card, I want one so bad. Lol, that would be, like you said, groundbreaking. Yeah, it definitely would, and it's going to be full featured and the rest of it. Onboarding is going to obviously being able to have the liquid Bitcoin go into it as well, and other stuff. So it's really going to open up some excitement. And obviously getting some of those custom credit cards is going to be pretty neat, presumably. So especially if you've got NFTs, I think they're going to get some special ones for NFT holders. So if we actually looked at going back to the mining just quickly before the auction closes, we've got these 3 NFTs. You get a 10% bonus and APY off each of these if you hold all 3. And I think there are a few on sale on OpenSea NFT trading platform. Anyway, let's jump back to the auction. It's about to close. We've got a minute 30 seconds there. Nothing's really changed. These stats, so no more Ethereum's gone in there. There's actually, if you put the scroll over, it's got the actual US dollar value, $5.2, $5,200. So that's pretty neat. and that there's got 3.5. So they bid in 5,200 for 3,600. So that the math doesn't, obviously that excludes the 10% bonus. So that certainly helps, which is you can use the link below for that one. Uniswap price just under 4.6 million per ETH. So yeah, the smaller ones don't recommend entering those. Sort of promote that every day. Welcome to channel for everybody. We've just come about to have the close for some of the newbies that have just joined. We've got less than a minute to go for the close of auction day 76, 28th of January 2021, and we're about to start the biggest auction for some time. It's about to start auction day 77. About to start. Yeah, we're certainly heading towards 100 auction days. We'll be here in no time, especially when we have by that time the venture capital auctions will have probably started. So it's going to be pretty fun. So here another 22 seconds, counting it down. Keeping it real. Axion price 20,00285. So pretty stable around there at the moment. So about to close. 8 seconds. Almost like watching SpaceX rocket going up. So it's 2 seconds. 1. Boom. So that's closed. And looks like we've got 4.04 closing auction price, 3.1 million approximately. Excludes the 10% bonus if you use the link below. Now let's just refresh, and we're going to wait for that to update for day 77. I'll just give that a refresh. It's still sitting there at the moment. That will take a few seconds, so we'll wait for that to happen, and then we'll do a nice rundown and move forward with that. So on this YouTube channel, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and if you can hit the bell notifications for notifications. And also there's we're doing a few other videos on this channel, basically around general investments, just to bring in a broader audience into Axion, and obviously educate around certificate deposits and investments stuff. So there's going to be more videos around that as well. So the Axion pool has just started with day 77, 342 million Axion. It's pretty big. 97,000, almost $98,000 worth, US dollar worth. So that's going to be up for grabs. It's going to be exciting next 24 hours. Obviously, if you want to get a 10% bonus, you can hit the link below and get that. So we've got an opening Uniswap price of 4.5 million Axion per ETH. The opening auction price is 4.469 million Axion per ETH. That excludes the 10% bonus using the link below. So pretty cool. And let's have a look at the mining just before we move on to some of the other stats. Wrap up. So this is going to be a wrap up video as well. And 188.38% APY. Pretty neat. And every 13 seconds there's a block reward. So pretty neat. And obviously 5 billion is counting down. Looks like there's about 740,000 Axion already been given out. So that's, 2.7 million Axion already given out. So that's going nicely. And you can get these bonuses with the NFTs and so forth. So we did it a bit earlier. We showed how to actually enter that. Looking pretty good. So let's have a look at the wrap up of the price. It's 000286, and we've got liquidity just under 4 million at the moment. That's looking really good. Daily volume just under 1.1 million. 1530 pooled ETH. That's really good. And pooled Axion is just under 7 billion. Transactions 19,310. The cool thing about DEX tools, which is what we're on at the moment, is that you can see all the transactions coming in, including the auction market buybacks. So if we go back to the auction, every ETH that goes into the pool here goes onto auction market buybacks, or 80% sorry of it goes onto auction market buybacks, and you can actually see them in real time in the transactions. And obviously the Axion that's bought on market with the Ethereum that goes into the auctions is given back to stakers. So it's the staking class on this channel that get the rewards. And obviously the longer you stake, the better. You get that big paydays, and you also get more shares. So 5% per year more shares if you stake it longer every year. So pretty neat. All right, so let's jump to the market stats to wrap that up. 267.8 billion Axion total supply at the moment. 91.1 billion in circulating supply, and circulating market cap is 28.8 million US dollars. That's holding up nicely, and we're looking to moon from there, at least get to double by mid-February, in my view, maybe beyond. Total active stakes, 19,897. That's almost 20,000, teasingly so at the moment. 1,092 average stake length is getting longer. That used to be like 130, 1,030, even lower, under 1,000 at some stage. Total Axion staked at the moment just dropped out because of a whale. 176.7 billion Axion. Average staked amount, almost 8.9 million Axion, so it's dropped quite a bit, but that's all because of those whales. So if we include the team's wallet, we've got 77.56. We exclude the team's wallet, we've got 65.97. So there we are. High Five Club. These are people that have staked 2.5 million Axion longer than 5,555 days, which is about 15.2 years. That's at 1,081. It's incredible. Heading towards 1,100. We've got almost 8.7 billion Axion in there. So that's incredible. Those people have got a lot of shares, and so when we go back to the staking, we've got the share rate at the moment fixed. It's going to go to dynamic, so it will increasingly go up once it does, and I don't think that's far away. And so obviously getting shares today by staking your Axion, you're going to get more shares. That's basically what these people have done, and therefore they get more of the reward pool each day. So Axion has 8% inflation per annum, and also gets the auction market buybacks on Uniswap. Those Axion that are purchased given back to the stakers in a reward pool. So those are the two main drivers, and pretty epic. Obviously penalties also go on to, I think, they get rolled into the auctions though. Axion ecosystem has finally gone over 14,000. There's 14,068 addresses holding at least one Axion. That's a key number moving ahead on top of some of the other factors, so pretty exciting. Let's have a look at the liquid. We've still got the two whales, 5 great whites. Looks like one of those has actually staked. I'm not sure, we'd have to check that out, but there was 6 yesterday. We've got the one whale's come out today, so we've got 2 whales. That's what's impacted the staking. So we've got 8.7 billion sitting into those wallets. I imagine that they're both going to restake, and so we're going to see these numbers jump back up probably tomorrow. I don't imagine they're going to leave them in their wallets too long. Now the Hex free claim finished yesterday, so that's a gone burger. We don't have to talk about that. Axion contributors back over 1.1 million, looking good. This is a great community thing that Axion will get more recognition for. It's a huge thing. So I'm pretty cool about that. And obviously with the news, we just actually got a piece of news on a live stream with the Axion New Year's Axion Blitz, staking Blitz. Hit a massive 14.7 billion Axion stake longer than 365 days. That is hugely successful. I think it's reflective in the numbers and also the price. So that's awesome. There's only 555 million left. So basically you have to stake 25, 50 or 100 million Axion for longer than 365 days, and you can get access to those rewards, which are 7.5, 10%, and 12.5% respectively. So there's still stuff up the grab that's going to be gone. I would estimate that's going to be gone, if not in 4 days, then definitely within the week. But the amounts are pretty big these days. So we're getting closer and closer to all the big news and all the big products coming out. So I think all these people that have done this will be very happy with that. Finally, Nomics, 32.6 thousand Bitcoin, $1,300 Ethereum, sitting nice and solid there. So it bodes well. I don't know what's much happening on the general chat. I was on there earlier today. So there's got just a few random comments there about stuff that I can see. So if you want to join that chat, to go ahead and do so. How long have we been going? 33 minutes, so pretty cool. Stephen's on the chat says everything looking good. Take care, Axion, and thanks. Pleasure, Stephen, and great to see your comments in the chat. We'll probably just leave this on for a little bit longer. Might just on the price chart, and we'll just upload that. We'll just make that a bit bigger. And let's move to the 1 hour chart. Boom. And I might just take off a lot of those lines. And there we are. So once again, there's quite a few videos on certificate of deposits on this YouTube site. Check them out, some of the recent videos. We're doing more on investment, how to investing, a lot of things like that. So that bodes well. That will attract a much wider audience over time, and working on doing that and optimizing on YouTube, as well as Medium blogging site and Publish OX blogging site. So creating a nice firm platform, because there's so much stuff coming out in the next 2 to 6 weeks. It's going to be quite an epic time. So we're getting a little push there in the price there, 0.0029. Let's see if we can break up to that 0.003. Pretty exciting. So it's a good thing is I won't have to do much change to, excuse me, the metrics. Probably should have got a nice cold drink before I started, but never mind. That's how we roll and Axion. We just get on and do it. So yeah, if you've got any insights that you've heard on the chats or anything like that, let us know in the comments. We're going to keep going for at least another 10 minutes on this close, and we're probably going to do these every day, so you can come and join us on at least on the big auctions. We probably won't have a live stream on small ones, but if we get some big ones, we might do that. So that will probably be at least doing 5 live streams a week from the looks of it. And then when the venture capital auctions, probably be doing live streams every day. So we'll probably be six days a week doing live streams for the auctions, and the community is going to grow pretty fast and rapid. So I had stopped doing these live streams for a couple of days, just taking a little break. So it's good to be back and enjoying it. Let's put on a few indicators and let's have a look, see what the Bollinger Bands are saying. I'll take those on, and I wish they had these bars a bit thicker actually. You can go into edit and let's have a look, settings, and you can actually make them a bit bigger. I think you have to go on individually, yeah, and you have to go down there and get the lower ones. So if you're not familiar with Bollinger Bands, they're a TA indicator. They got the 5% at the range there, and the 95% at the top there. And then they've got a middle band in the bottom. I'm not sure where just go to this one. So if you're not familiar with this, it's probably quite cool when you're doing this live if you don't normally do this yourself. So just making that a bit bigger, and you can see that we're just bouncing off the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Typically, these candles, we're on the 1 hour chart, so typically these candles pretty much don't stay out more than 3 to 5 times, and then sort of bounce back, and often we'll go to the middle or start going back to the top. Depends what other sort of trading pattern you can find in there. Obviously, trading patterns use a lot of triangles, things like that to capture price movement as well as volatility correspondence as well. But definitely looks like we've had a bit of a re-rating at the moment. We've managed to hold that up, but given some of the figures that we've looked at, you can see why. So we've had getting growth in wallets, getting growth in staking, quite innovative approaches to doing that, and I think it bodes pretty well for the future, so pretty cool. So look here, looks like we're having a nice bounce off, where we've got some not too bad volumes down the bottom. So it's looking good. Let's have a look at let's head to, where we got here. Let's have a look at a Fibonacci retracement. Take that up to there and have a look. So what do we do? We came back, hit off the 50 mark on the Fibonacci. There, for each level here, you got 23%, 38%, 50%, 61.8, 78%. For every level, there's rationales typically around those levels. So it looks like we bounced off the 50 mark here. Sometimes you can come back to 61.8 after having a rally, but here it looks like 50%, and we actually looks like we're stabilizing, definitely with higher lows. So looks good. Nice consolidation phase here. Hard to see whether there's any actual triangles there. There's a bit of a flag. I guess you could do a flag. Bit of a bull flag in there, to be honest. So it bodes pretty well for the future. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to this channel. Lots in store in the coming weeks. Put on notifications, so hit the bell. And feel free to make any comments, likes, or anything you want to see on the channel that's not currently being covered. Let me know, because we can get into doing that. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So this is a huge auction today, almost $100 million. Sorry, almost what's that? $1 million? Oh, no, $100,000 almost. Getting too used to saying millions. Almost $100,000 in the Axion pool today. Pretty neat. So we should see some good results there. Obviously, there's 444. So that bodes. What's that going to be a sellout? Let's let me just do a quick math here. 342 divided by 4.5. So we should expect about 76 Ethereum to go into this pool to do a sellout. So that's going to be a rather big day. 76 Ethereum going in, and that's going to use 80% of that gets to use for market buybacks. So 76 times 76 times 0.8. Should just do it in my head, but that's 61 ETH. Should go on to do market buybacks. So let's say that that's even done at 4.5. That would be 273 million Axion over the next 24 hours is purchased, and that would go back to stakers. Hey, so not bad. So if you've got, if you're a big whale and you've got 1% of the shares, that would give you 2.7 million Axion just for one day. So that's how the math works. That excludes the inflation that goes into the reward pool. So pretty exciting. I don't know if any of you've done those numbers, but it's pretty funny to do them on a day, especially on a big day like this. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. All right, with 40 minutes, so we'll probably go for 45 minutes. So 4 minutes to go. So if you've got any insights, let us know in the chat. Believe I've got the chat on. Yeah, I have. Stephen's on there. So I've got some nice comments from Stephen there. Boding well. Now, when you're at this stage on consolidation, if we go to Nomics, let's have a look at Bitcoin just while we're here. So actually, this is actually looking pretty good for Bitcoin, holding up here. Now, does it make another top? That's the thing. So if you think about Bitcoin, it has had a big ramp up. It does actually quite slow here. And then from here, I guess from the 12,000 mark, that's where we've got all this extra value on there, and that needs to be justified to hold up. So be interesting to see where this comes down from here, whether this consolidation is in for another move up. Can we get to that 50, 60,000 mark? And if once it did that, if it makes another attempt, you'd then have to be a little bit concerned at the height of it, and then expect that maybe there's a bit of a bubble going on. It has a pullback, so it's something just to keep keep an eye on. Is that obviously Bitcoin can move quite fast, so it's just a matter of keeping a track of that. Because we saw that back, and if we go back in the past, it's always good to think about your risk management. Obviously, you can swap stuff into USD Tether or USDC. So we saw that in the last pass where we had this pullback down here, and then we went into a bear market here. Now, a number of factors are different this time, although we've still got this massive, almost exponential rise here in Bitcoin. So it's whether it will go to another high, and that is that we've got institutions now investing. Since this time, we didn't have that, and those institutions started investing. Oh, I don't know why my chart's gone funny, but they, into 19 around here, they were starting to set up a New York Stock Exchange, stuff like that. And so there's a lot more money coming into space. So eventually Bitcoin's going to be worth 100 grand and probably going to be $1 million in my view. Obviously do your own due diligence, etc. But this is going to be early days, but it's not going to happen in a straight line, right? So we're going to have pullbacks. We should get higher highs, but there could be. I think the gaps between the two are going to be smaller. So where that might be 2 years or so, the gaps could be 1 year, then 6 months. It could be a lot shorter like that. Because there's not that many Bitcoin, and if the markets are really starting to move, some of the big players are starting to move into Bitcoin, not just the institutions, but because they haven't been saturated at all. They're just been opened up with the New York Stock Exchange, which opens up all the clients in the world that normally invest in stocks, and now they're thinking, oh, I put 1% in Bitcoin, you know, and then if they think that the US dollar is looking unstable due to the leadership or whatever, they can then move that in. So it's going to be interesting times. So just keep an eye on this at this stage. You can see obviously the last peak, which was around $20,000 mark up here at the moment. So, but I think Ethereum could actually do a little bit of its own thing, because Ethereum's got really the bulk of smart contracts built onto it, uh, and probably about 85% or so. So Ethereum actually is quite the economy, but Ethereum does need to move to Ethereum 2.0, which only just started. Or was it back in December last year? So it really needs to get to stage 2 played out, which I think it's sort of in between that at the moment. And once it gets to moves to Ethereum 2.0, it will really be able to boom big time. Because if we jump to the gas fees, we can see that we have not, this is the last week, we have hardly moved below 50 Gwei on the transactions, so that's been a real problem. So if Axion can certainly deliver on those, getting the gas free, then that's a game changer, right? So they haven't promised anything. It's obviously got to work on that, but they have one possibility. In any case, they look like they may subsidize long stakers, making long stakers free at the very least. So bodes pretty well, because 50 Gwei is still a lot for most players. Obviously, if you're doing very big investments, and it's it's acceptable to some point. But I think even bigger players don't like paying $300, $500 for a transaction. And you look at some of these spikes, the volatility is massive, because Ethereum can only really handle like 30 so transactions a second apparently, which is nothing these days, as I've pointed out in previous videos. Blockchain 3.0, like Phantasma, can do 5,000 a second, which makes Ethereum look small. But obviously Ethereum is the one that's got 85% of the smart contracts, DeFi, yield farming, all that sort of stuff going on top of it. So, as well as Axion, Hex and Wise, and all the top leading staking tokens. So, and big communities, to be honest too. So it's going to be quite interesting. Yeah, we'll see where that leads. All right, so that's about 45 minutes or so. It's been a good live stream. We're going to do this probably most days. I'll try and give a bit more heads up on the next one. Just takes a bit of setup to make sure that it's loaded correctly. Thanks for joining, everybody. I will catch you next time. And onwards and upwards. Cheers.